Hey, this is Type V3, and today I'll be taking a look at the Transformers Powercore Combiners Grimstone with the Dinobots. Now, the Powercore Combiners toy line has been, in my opinion, a failed toy line amongst the Transformers community, and it's honestly no surprise. Without a TV show or a movie that these characters could have emerged from, it's hard to fall in love with a toy line without any sort of media behind it. So, is this 5-pack another failure, or is it something a little bit different? Well, let's find out as we move on into the video montage. Alright, let's get the big thing out of the way. No matter what continuity of Transformers you're following, dinosaurs are always cool. And to even heighten that aspect, if there's one thing that every Transformers fan has always wanted, it was a combining dinosaur team. And that's what this is. It finally fulfills the need. Granted, it's not exactly the one we wanted. I mean, it isn't, let's say, Grimlock combining with his Dinobot team. It still is a set of dinosaurs combining together. And that, in my book, is almost instant buy for me. When it comes to Poseability, the drones themselves can't do anything. In fact, if they have any movement, it's only to accommodate the transformation of the combined mode. For example, this one's head turns into a foot, and that's all he really has. So don't expect too much playability out of them. Instead, let's focus on the commander. Now, this commander here is a sort of Triceratops resembling dinosaur, and the only movement he has is in his limbs. And, you know, they're all on ball joints, or not ball joints, I'm sorry, double hinged joints, and that's really all you have. They have a sort of knee joint there as well, but nothing else too much. After all, this is a dinosaur, so don't expect it to be anything too special. I mean, his mouth can't even open, so that kind of sucks. But let's move on into these commanders' robot mode to see if that's any better. Grimstone's transformation is very simple and effective, and if there's one thing that this does amazing, it's that it hides those blue Powercore Combiner points into the actual robot, and that's something that I think is taken for granted when it comes to this figure. What you end up with is a surprisingly short and stubby Dinobot Transformer. Grimstone's head is surprisingly detailed for its small and diminutive size. However, his overall paint in robot mode is rather lacking, especially on his limbs. It just really looks bland and gray. His back, however, looks amazing when transformed, just because it looks like a 3D puzzle that was just meant to fit together. While in robot mode, Grimstone has a surprising amount of posability. His legs are on a double jointed swivel, and he's got a double jointed knee that can go basically 180. His arms themselves, the shoulders are kind of limited as they can only go up and down, and it can sort of move forward. And then this elbow's on a ball joint, but no wrist swivel, and you can see that his arm is actually molded into his forearm, so that kind of sucks. His head is on a swivel, and obviously there is no waist on this guy. But of course, this is probably not the mode you're buying this figure for, so it's not really too bad of posability, it's just not too great either. Overall, Grimstone's design is cute at best. He doesn't look like quite the imposing and dangerous Dinobot that you'd expect him to be, but he does suit the part of their leader only because he is so much bigger than them. In fact, he kind of looks like a child who has a bunch of drones for his toys. Speaking of which, let's see what happens when we combine them all together. Getting Grimstone into a combined mode is actually a pretty simple affair. All you gotta do is the reverse transformation back into his dinosaur mode, and then position all the limbs as if they were upper arms and thighs. Combining the commander with the drones is pretty simple. You just gotta clip in the respective limbs in the right places, watch an automorph happen, and you're done. Finish off with an epic head reveal, and you've got yourself the nameless Dinobot Combiner, who in actuality has been named by the fans Dino Pope. And you can probably figure out why. The combined version of Grimstone strikes a balance of looking between a transformer and a prehistoric creature, and I absolutely am in love with it. The paint apps are all wonderful in this combined mode with spots of gold and silver, and even that gray looks pretty good as well as the red. His head is wonderful with those horns coming at the top of that popish looking hat, and those blue eyes look wonderful. Because this is a combiner, Grimstone has sacrificed overall posability for a better look in design. So because of that, his arms are really, really weak in terms of articulation. The only joints you get are at the shoulder, and that's basically an up swivel and a rotating swivel here. Same on both arms. The hands, even though are different, they honestly don't do anything. He has no waist swivel. The head is on a limited joint. There's a 360 swivel that goes sideways, and a hinge that goes forward and backwards, but not much. The legs themselves are on that same double hinge joint that Grimstone had without being combined. And now he has a big knee, which is really useful. Unfortunately, the foot itself doesn't have anything there. It kind of just balances on each of the drones like that. Provided they have a bunch of stability, you can't really do much with his legs. Now, unfortunately, Grimstone does not come with a weapon. However, his hands, both of them, are shaped so uniquely and so weapon-like that it feels like he could just tear you to pieces with them. Grimstone is also the only combiner to which the commander and the drones all carry the same cohesive color palette, and that's really nice, especially for combiner, because sometimes you see combining robots with rainbow colored limbs and it just looks pretty stupid. Also, I just can't help but this guy looks good from every single angle. Now, whatever your thoughts on the Powercore Combiner line, do not overlook Grimstone just because he's part of it. He's probably the best figure to come out of that toy line at all. In fact, he's probably the only great figure that can stand on his own as a toy. And let's not forget, he's the only 5-pack that carries a unified color scheme, and he's also a dinosaur combiner, something that we've always wanted. And if that isn't enough, I mean, he's practically going on sale right now. Because the line's discontinued, you can pretty much find this guy for around $7–10, and to me that's a steal. 5 scout-sized figures definitely is worth your money. But maybe all this isn't enough. Maybe you just don't want a dinosaur Transformer that doesn't have any relation to any sort of Transformers media there is. Maybe you want the real deal. And if that's the case, then I've got the dinosaur for you. But until next time, this has been Type V3. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.